How to sell your music on Spotify. This is a question I've seen come up, and I think it comes in two parts actually, which is, okay, how do we make our music available that we can sell it on Spotify? And then once our music is on Spotify, how do we get people listening to it on Spotify so that we can start selling it? And in this video, I'm going to cover both of those questions.
I gotta put my hand up and admit it. Think I really might have blown it.
So how do we sell our music on Spotify, and how do we make it available to sell our music on Spotify? In order for us to get our music on Spotify, we need to use a middleman. We need to use a music distributor. And there are many different kinds of music distributors. For example, DistroKid, TuneCore, and CD Baby would be the first three that usually come to my head. I've used actually all three of these music distributors, and you can use as many as you'd like as well. You can have one song on DistroKid, and you can also have another song on TuneCore. So you're going to have to do a little bit of research on what music distributor you're going to want to go with. And that depends on if you're willing to give up some of your music royalties, or if you'd rather just be charged a fixed fee. Well, then your choice will be a bit easier. If you just want to be charged a fixed fee, then you might want to go with something like TuneCore or DistroKid, for example, where you can keep 100% of your music royalties in this case. But this depends on what you kind of want as a musician. For example, DistroKid has this really cool feature called payment splitting. So if you have co-writers on your song, DistroKid can automatically split those payments to your co-writers. TuneCore doesn't have payment splitting. However, TuneCore also has international publishing, so they're going to be able to collect your performance royalties on an international level, and this is an extra feature that you can pay for on TuneCore. So every distributor has all these different features and add-ons. For simplicity's sake, let's say you use DistroKid. Okay, so now I'm in DistroKid, and we want to go to the top section here called Upload. And so here is in DistroKid where we can choose all the music streaming platforms that we want to go with. Now, obviously, we want to choose everything. And here you can go down to such as, and this will open up another site that talks about all the music streaming services that DistroKid offers. And as you can see, there are hundreds. So let's go back to DistroKid and make sure you do have all the streaming services checked. There's no downside to not putting your music on all the music streaming services unless you don't want your music to be on Apple Music, for example. I don't know why you would want that though. So make sure you click everything. Click the number of songs you would like to upload. And in this case, it's just one. Continue going down the list. Put in your artist name here. Mine is Charles Klein. And then you continue. I mean, it's quite simple. I won't get into too much detail, but as you continue down here, you can see that, of course, you'll need to put your album cover art, and then obviously you'll need to choose the song. And so once you've filled out those, DistroKid will go through the data, see if you have everything in the right order and format, and then wait 2 or 3 days and your song will start to pop up on Spotify and Apple Music and all the music streaming services. So now that we've made our music available to sell on Spotify, we're just gonna have to sit tight and wait till it actually is live on Spotify. But in that time, we can start getting some marketing ideas ready in order for us to start selling our music on Spotify. So the first thing we're gonna wanna do is go to our Spotify for Artists profile and make sure we're looking at the upcoming section on the navigation. Here is where we're going to see our song that we've distributed on DistroKid, and that should pop up in the upcoming section in a matter of days. And when you see that song there, we're going to want to pitch it to the Spotify curators, and that is the best way in order for us to sell our music on Spotify, because this is going to help us get a lot more streams. It's really hard to get on Spotify playlists, especially these Spotify editorial playlists, but it's worth taking your time to pitch the Spotify curators here as step number 1. Step number 2 to how to sell our music on Spotify is to focus on user-generated playlists. Here, we're gonna have a much better rate of success in order to get on playlists. Because these aren't official Spotify curated playlists, there's many more with different types of followings, and most of the time they're just regular people. So you can find their email, you can reach out to them on Twitter or Facebook and ask if they'll put your song on their playlist. I have a really detailed video on how to get on a Spotify playlist that I'll link to in the video description that I do recommend you checking out. Take the time to search in the main Spotify search for your genre. For example, if you're in folk pop or hip hop or something, make sure you're doing a search inside the main Spotify search and looking at all the playlists that are user generated, so not the Spotify curated playlists. Find their contact information. Sometimes it's directly in the description of the playlist. Their email is flat out right there. Take the time to email, make it as unique as possible. Don't spam the curators because keep in mind, they are already getting hundreds of emails from other musicians like you. So take the time, make a custom reach out and ask them to put your song on their playlist, and do this to many playlists. Try to find at least 100, 200, maybe even like 300 playlists. Third thing you can do to how to sell your music on Spotify is focus on trying to get pre-saves, more followers, and a low skip rate on your songs. And so this is going to help with the Spotify algorithm, which will hopefully help you get on Spotify algorithmic playlists. And these are playlists that the Spotify algorithm just looks at songs that are doing well and they're automatically put on playlists. So in order to help the Spotify algorithm, you're going to want to get more Spotify followers. Again, I did actually make a video on how to get more Spotify followers. I'll put a link to that in the description as well. But do focus on getting more Spotify followers. Do focus a lot on getting more saves and pre-saves to the song. In my opinion, it's the biggest indicator that a song is actually doing well, because that means someone took the time enough to put a heart on the song and actually add it to their libraries. So the more hearts you get, the more saves you get on the song. That's going to really help out the Spotify algorithm. Another one is keeping a low skip rate. This is actually out of your control, but you can try to keep in mind when you're building the song, maybe slim down the intro a little bit. Don't have a huge guitar solo at the beginning, or don't have, 4 beats of just drums. Try to get into the song as soon as possible and grab someone's attention so you can decrease that skip rate, because if the Spotify algorithm sees that everyone is skipping the song at second 20 or second 40, that's just going to lower your chances of getting on any Spotify algorithmic playlist. How are you actually going to see any of this money? Well, all of this streaming revenue that we're going to get from Spotify are going to come in mechanical royalties. And mechanical royalties are collected by your music distributor. So in our case, for example, we are using DistroKid. Our mechanical royalties from our streams on Spotify will be coming through DistroKid. Let's go back to DistroKid here. And as we can see, when we scroll up, we have this section called Bank. And that's our bank. That's where our mechanical royalties are going to be. Everyone that streamed your song on Spotify, you're getting paid a little bit for that, and it's going in your bank. If you're using another distributor like CD Baby or TuneCore, they're going to have the same thing. They're going to collect your mechanical royalties for you, and they'll be able to pay you out. That's how to sell your music on Spotify in its simplest terms. Let me know if you'd like me to go deeper in any of the topics on how to maybe market your music better on Spotify, or feel free to check out some of my other videos. I have made a lot of videos on how to sell your music and how to set up your music royalties. So feel free to check out some of those links in the descriptions, and feel free to subscribe as well. I hope to see you in the next video.